Oh, am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Yay! Yeah, sorry. Okay. Yay, I didn't get rid of the chat. Sorry, yeah, I warned you. I warned you. I knew it was gonna crash at like the 1 hour or 2 hour mark, so crashed at the 2 hour mark. Yeah, it's my streaming thing. I put it in the description, but it's fine. It'll usually crash after using it a while. So, but I'll that's pretty much probably a sign I should probably get finished up. But yeah, so I'll work on this one, and then once I'm done, I will just end the stream properly. But yeah, sorry about that. So we're back to drawing the owl person. To be honest, I think it's so cool how people create their species. I made a couple of species myself, but not as cool as these. Yeah, I really like do original species. Like, I really do. Closed species are just, it's a different topic. I'm not going to get into it. It's not, I don't dislike closed species as a thing. I think it's a very fun concept, and I think it does promote a lot of really interesting stuff. And I really do, like, I really like looking at species sheets and things like that. I think it's a very fun thing. My issues with them typically come out more with how they can be run and how, like, typically the people, like, who follow these species, it's more of a people problem I have than the actual species problem. I'm not going to get too deep into it right now unless I have literally nothing else to talk about, but like so I have absolutely nothing wrong with closed species. I think they're a very fun idea, and I like drawing them when I'm commissioned to draw them, you know. They're fun. And I like, if it wasn't obvious by, like, all the stuff I've been making about my fantasy world's mermaids, I really like different interpretations on species, and I like that kind of stuff, and I like all that really detailed animation and stuff like that. So, yeah. Those are like, yeah, those look feathery-ish. An issue with, like, I just have a hard time doing feathers most of the time and not making it look, like, I just have a hard time with feathers sometimes, because typically to make something look like a feather rather than opposed to just being, like, fur, you have to add a lot more detail to it, and I usually have a hard time with that because I don't like doing that. But it's fine. I can't. This one I think is supposed to be a bit more feathery and furry, so hopefully it's fine. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. How do you know what to draw? Like, what do you mean? Like, do you mean, how do I, like, figure out stuff to draw? Or, like, could you be more specific about that? Well, usually it's just whatever I feel like drawing at the time. I don't know. It's just different. Inspiration comes from different places and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat very much. I'm focused on drawing this feathery fluff. Is this gonna be his last drawing? Probably for now, yeah. I might probably actually come back and, like, when I have time, might stream the rest of these, because it's kind of fun. So, I'll probably come back and stream the rest of these when I have time, but probably for this stream, this one will probably be the last one for now. And they have, like, I can't, yeah, oh yeah, they do have claws. Oh, I didn't even see that before. They got big, berry, bear claws. I've been doing this right, yeah. Can you do a how to draw where you show us how you learn to draw? Well, there's not, like, one way I learned how to draw. I've been doing this for years. So there's not, like, one strategy I used to learn. It's been a lot of different things over years of practicing different things and refining certain parts of my art and stuff like that. So I don't know if I could do a tutorial that's, like, how I just drew in as a whole, because I've done many different things over the years to improve my art and stuff like that. Flatten these down just a little bit, make them look a little bit more knuckly. How do you get the tips of your line art thinner than everything else? Well, that's a pen pressure thing. There's settings usually for brushes and stuff like that where you can, like, stroke taper. So there's, like, pressure taper and stuff like that, and that basically is, like, that, like, this is specifically for, like, pens and stuff, but there are settings where it's, like, you can get pretty automatic kind of stuff. Like, hang on, let me see if I can find it. I always have to refigure out the settings every single time. Yeah, like, I have the Apple Pencil, so, like, I have this sort of setting where you can change this and play around with that. And there's other settings and stuff too, but typically that is just a setting thing, and that's usually going to be something you can only really get right in a single stroke if you have something that will do pen pressure. Hi.
What do you want for pizza?
Just cheese is fine.
Okay.
Alright, so, yeah, it's usually something you're only gonna really get if you, do, like, have pen pressure and stuff like that to work with. Oh, goodness, okay. Let me do these eyes. That was my brother. Yo, Zodiac, I have a question. Do you watch JoJo Bizarre Adventure? No, I don't, but my brother watches it. Let's see. They do not really have a lot of, like, really thick eyelashes. So we're gonna just make this really, really mildly subtle. Yeah, we're gonna just make these really, really subtle. Do you do art trades at all or collabs? I have a friend who's at the hospital. Oh, I don't, I do them occasionally. I can't do them right now because I'm really, really busy. So I'm not doing them right now. I can't. I just do not have time to do those kinds of things. Yeah, I hope everything goes well for your friend too. I'm sorry about that. Yay, lawn art. There it is. So pretty. Where did my phone go? Hang on one second. One second. Alright, so, I'm trying to draw a mermaid right now, but I can't think of what her hair should be. Any suggestions? I just play around with it a lot. I don't know what the character's like or anything like that, so, okay, hang on, so, okay, alright, time to color this, because while I'm just sitting here, might as well. I mean, honestly, I could probably shade this one, just get it all out of the way. Just like get it all out of the way while I'm thinking about it, then I don't have to worry about it. And I can just be done with it, and I'm like, yeah, nice, look at me go. Okay, so we want... This will be more interesting. These kinds are a bit more interesting to color because they typically are, they're a lot less... How do I describe it? They're a lot less... Like, it's a lot less like doing clothes and then something else. It's more, you know, it's more like about coloration and stuff, which can usually be a little bit harder to color, but we're gonna figure this out. If I can just figure out what actual colors to use. This is sometimes the issue with using references that are not that are shaded, because it can make it really confusing what's supposed to be a color and what is supposed to be just a shadow. We're gonna figure it out for this gift art. That's what we're gonna do. What's my biggest pet peeve when it comes to characters? I don't know what my biggest pet peeve is with characters. It depends on the context, I guess. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, of course. My biggest pet peeve, honestly, are, how do I describe this in a way that makes sense? It's characters who are designed to be like, they're guys and they're like small and they're like smaller framed and supposed to be more kind of girly-ish or feminine-ish in like body type and all that. And I don't have a problem with those characters at all. I have some of those, but what I don't like is the people who have those characters and that character's like entire personality is extremely tropey, and like 90% of that character is just they're gay. Like, I really hate characters like that. I'm not gonna lie. It's like they have absolutely no other character other than the fact that they are absolutely totally gay, and that's like all there is to it. And I don't like characters like that. I don't like any characters where it's like their sexuality or their gender is the only thing about them that makes them a character at all. Like, they have nothing else to them except for that. I already don't like characters like that, but it just really irritates me when it's like the how do I describe it? It's like here's like I used to be really into anime when I was a kid, but it's like the anime uke trope where they look really small and innocent and cute, like uwu boy, and they're gay, and that's like literally it, and there's like nothing else to them or anything, and they're literally this. The reason why it irritates me is because it is such obvious, like, listen, it's such a clear like fetish, and it's kind of gross to me because it's a like kind of a fetishization of like like of a cute innocent boy that's gonna like that's super gay and what it's a fetish, and I don't like it because it's usually that's all it's ever played up to be. In fact, fun fact to anyone who actually remembers Seven Sins and a Baby, I am working on it. I just am taking it slow. The reason why Lust is designed the way he is because, to be honest, making him super feminine and like small framed like that was kind of the secret. Was kind of my indirect way of saying it's like this is how I can get basically make him in a weird way a quote unquote fetish without it being super obvious and weird. Because that's what it is for some people. That's not to say that all like small framed male characters who are a bit more effeminate are fetish. That's not what I'm saying. Hi.
Okay. So there's not an option on it for deep dish, so I just using the pictures as reference, I picked what looked like deep dish pizza.
Can I see it?
Let me give you a second.
Okay.
Yeah, deep
One
dish
second.
is not an option on the
Can I
screen.
see it?
Yes, Maureen.
Like what you're talking about? Because you're saying it, but you're not showing it to me.
Let me go pretend like I'm ordering.
Or did you already order? Because then it wouldn't matter.
Yes, I already ordered.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna wait 30 minutes to figure this out. Basically.
Okay. Well, if you ordered, it doesn't matter.
In
I
reference
guess.
to the pictures, hand tossed looks like that, which looks thick.
That's not a deep dish, but
okay, whatever.
I know.
Whatever.
Just okay. Whatever. Just go.
There's not an option.
Okay.
That says that in words.
If you already ordered it, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying that.
There's no word on there that says that. So.
Okay. Whatever. So anyway, whatever I was saying. If any character trope irritates me, that's the one. Just because there's so much more you can do with it, but people don't because they just kind of want a character trope and they just roll with it, and then the character's really boring, and it's like, it's bad. I don't like it. And it does kind of, it makes me, sometimes it's just bad character writing in general, honestly. That's the most I can say, but, you know, I don't like it because those characters are a lot more than just being like cute and whatever. I don't know. It's hard to really describe it, but it's just something I don't like, and I see it a lot sometimes with just generally with other people's characters. It's not even like obviously it is very common in like yaoi tropes a lot of the time, but I see it a lot with people who aren't making big shows, just general characters, and I don't like it because it's uninteresting, it's uninspired, and it feels very gross and kind of fetishistic, the way a lot of people do it. So, I guess if I have any kind of pet peeve, that's the one. So. What do you dislike most about the self-insert ships? I mean, I don't care. People can do whatever they want. But the only thing I don't like is when they're like people who will do that kind of stuff and then claim like, oh, I am the only one who can be paired with this character because I say so, and I think that's kind of stupid, but that's usually like kids who literally don't know any better, so like it doesn't really concern me that much because it is what it is and they'll have to learn eventually. Okay, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? It has like the more... Okay, so you have the kind of green right here. I want to make sure it looks textured because it's supposed to be feathery. Yeah. And it goes up into the face like this. Sorry, I'm focusing. This is the kind of designs that I like doing them, and I think they're very pretty, but they take a lot of concentration because, like, it's just unusual and it's a little harder to color. Because it's supposed to be, like, flowing into itself. So I need... or that'll come back around when I do the lighter one right there. And then I need to do... well... yeah. Okay, yeah, and then there's like the, I'll add those in a second, but there needs to be this brown one right here. Extend that right kind of down here a little bit more. Sorry, I'm focused. Okay. Whew. Alright. Fix that real quick. Okay, so I need to do some... I'm screwing it all up. Okay, then I need this same color that's here. Goes down farther than that. Alright, cool. Looks alright. Okay, yeah, if you guys want to keep asking questions, I'm sorry, I'm super, like, into it. Now I need these little flecky fleck favorite villain tropes. I mean, I'm always a sucker for like a believable, redeemable villain and stuff like that. And I like villains that are at the same time though, I do really like the villains who are just generally like a really over the top villain trope. You know, like the mustache twirling, like mwahaha evil kind of villains. Just because sometimes they're fun when they're done in a very satirical like manner. I think they are, personally. So I like both ends of the spectrum. I like the realistic villains, but I like the cartoon villains just as much. Do 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 do. Almost done. Do you have a favorite Disney villain? I mean, I do always like Scar from Lion King. I always liked him a lot. I liked. There's others out there I know. I always loved Ursula. Always connected with me. I liked Ursula a lot. Oh, I do. I will say this. I like Mother Gothel a lot because she was not written to be like. She was written to where she's the kind of villain where it's like, yeah, she's just a different kind of villain. She wasn't the like evil spells, whatever. She was like her villain nature was basically an abusive mother, and I think that was a lot more interesting as a story point. It was just unique to me, and I like Mother Gothel a lot because she's just such a different kind of Disney villain, you know. She's not exceptionally magical. She's not exceptionally like made to look villainous. She's just like she's made to be a false motherly figure, and that she's a manipulative and controlling, and she has other motives. She's just a much different, more unique Disney villain than like what we're usually used to and stuff like that. And I think that's interesting. A domestic evil, yeah. See, what I wish they would have, like, now that I'm older, what I wish that they would have done with Frollo is because now, like, now that I'm older and I actually know the real Hunchback of Notre Dame story, I do honestly wish that in some ways they would have gone more with what Frollo originally was supposed to be rather than changing the character as much. It was still fine how it was, but Frollo, for anyone who doesn't know, the original story of Hunchback of Notre Dame, Frollo was the one who raised Quasimodo, you know, and he was the archdeacon of the church. He was like he was the head honcho of the church, and a lot of this story does focus around the fact that he was a religious man and that he was Quasimodo's father figure and all this sort of stuff. And I do wish that could have been kept so that part could have been explored a little bit more, because that's a very interesting dynamic, and it makes the story a lot more interesting when you consider that fact. But, you know, I can kind of understand why they did what they did, and I don't think it works. It's not, I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's, like, an incorrect way to interpret it. Disney's usually been pretty good with, when they change certain tales and folklore with, like, changing the right things, to make it work. And I mean, obviously, the concept of Frollo actually being the archdeacon of the church would have been a lot more, you know, a little bit more to actually work with when you're making a children's movie than probably was necessary. But, you know, I think it would have been interesting to have that actually kept in and actually explored more. But that's just me. Oh, her eye's a little bit lopsided. Hang on, let me just fix this eye up a little bit here. Hang on, fixing the eyeball a little bit here. Ah, shoot. I hate that when I do that on the wrong layer. There we go. That looks better. That looks much better. Alright, cool. You know what? We're just gonna hunker down and just shade this, because why not? Let me adjust the colors here a little bit. Make it look a little bit prettier. Any tips for when it comes to picking color palettes? I mean, it does depend on what you're trying to make. Like with anything, typically, like there are a lot of you know, there's a lot of different like ways you can go about it. You know, typically a good system, like typically when it comes to color palettes, you're gonna want to pick things that represent the character in some way and all that sort of stuff. At least if you're picking color palettes for like a assigned character in a story. But yeah, I definitely would say I have a big habit of when I do it, I usually tend to have my color schemes pretty monotone and like one kind of main color with like a bright, noticeable accent. Not always, but that's my habit that I've been trying to break out of a little bit more. But something I do like doing with characters is having colors being misleading. Like, you know, having a very aggressive character, but with colors that are not very aggressive, and vice versa. I just find that stuff to be kind of interesting and stuff. Did I miss that spot? Hang on. Alright, 1 second. I will have to end just the stream in a second. But I'm going to try and get at least the basic shading on this so I have something to come back to. I might have to finish the shading this off stream, but we'll see. Oh wait, why did I do it like that? That's not the right way. This is the right way. What the hell am I doing? I'm just trying to do some basic shadows so I can go eat. I'll go back in and do more refined shadows at some point. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm just trying to get this done at this point because I don't want like to leave my pizza sitting out for an hour. Oh, goodness. That'll be good enough. Okay, so thank you guys for coming. I'll probably do more streams for the gift pictures in the future, so keep an eye out. But yeah, thanks for coming, and sorry that got interrupted like halfway through. So, but yeah, bye.